My ancestors lie in graves made of water. My ancestors lie in graves made of water. No funeral prayers were said. No holy man prayed for the dead. No flowers were cast upon coffins. No families mourned at the graveside holding each other tight. No condolences, no words, just water. My ancestors lie in graves made of water. Has anyone said a prayer for the unnamed yet? Prayed over their mass grave yet? Released their spirits from the ocean bed so they can fly towards the sky instead of witnessing the heavens glow from beneath the water? The galaxies dance mockingly to those locked to the bottom of the sea, or maybe they're at home there after centuries of existing in liquid. Their flesh living forever on the sea floor, their flesh in the crashing waves that rush upon the seashore so urgently, like messengers from beyond the grave with a secret to share with the living. Ancestors of mine, what would you like to say, because I'm listening with my everything? I wonder how it feels to die that way. No ashes to ashes, no dust to dust. The Atlantic is a cemetery for ancient African blood that seeped into the sea, dancing elegantly as it left the bodies of warriors who refused to be slaves and surrendered to those with the devil in their eyes, wielding whips that lashed their black gold skin, punished for no actual sin. Imagine. The Atlantic is a cemetery for ancient African blood, and my ancestors lie in graves made of water. I wonder if they tried to swim when their bodies cracked against the ocean limbs, or if they surrendered to the majesty of the water. Maybe they saw home in the distance, their mother, their tribe, their village, their mother's lagoon-like eyes silently saying everything will be fine. Maybe they reached out their hands to touch all of the above, the type of mirages that appear when you are drowning. Maybe they saw their ancestors in the distance, walking on water, with outstretched arms, taking them home to an Africa in the spirit realm, with drums that play themselves, and children that dance but their feet don't touch the ground, under a baobab tree that glistens with light from heaven. I wonder if they knew they would die when they jumped, or if they thought the sea was a portal to the sky. Maybe they saw something our eyes couldn't. Maybe they heard a melody that other wounded comrades didn't. Maybe they were not jumping. Maybe they were flying because they saw the face of God in the water. Maybe they were not jumping. Maybe they were flying because they saw the face of God in the water. Thank you. You guys are the best crowd. I just want to take you with me everywhere. Everywhere I go, we're like, see, I'm amazing. The crowd in Manchester say so. Mashallah. The next piece is a piece called Tribe, which I guess, so that poem, I guess, represents the beginning, the ancestry, where we come from. This piece is about my contemporary reality, being someone of the diaspora in a land that isn't the land of my ancestors, but is a land that I guess is home. Not I guess, it is home. Bismillah. My people are ancient future, inhabiting a realm between hip-hop and scripture. We are the new black Mohammedans, concrete dwellers, exiled Africans, strangers in an even stranger land, but we have found home here. Foreign hands fed us fables so we would forget ourselves. They put the pill in our mouths, but we did not swallow. We have the blood of the oppressors inside us, so we are immune to this virus. But heaven has always been inside us, and God always stood beside us. We are those whose language is lost, but we understand the language of God inherently. Our words are part prophecy and part poetry. We are the dreams our ancestors did not know they could dream. We are there tomorrow. Ancient tribes underneath the city skyline, looking for home in all the wrong places. We are the lost tribes, Abrahamic, making homelands everywhere, nomadic, modern-day mystics, societal misfits, find us in tower blocks like the oracle in the Matrix, extraordinary human beings in ordinary places. We know we are broken and flawed, But it doesn't stop us clawing our way to God's door. We sit with the lovers, those who weep when they hear his name. We place our foreheads to the ground, face the east when we pray. We say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. And what of our women? The women of my tribe have light in their face and tears in their eyes. Some of us have tattoos that tell stories of past lives. We live in concrete castles, make homes in the hearts of broken men, believing we can heal them back to wholeness. And sometimes we can, but most times we cannot. Our women have walked through the valley of the shadow of death, confronted the darkness and speak to God with every breath. We give birth to black and brown babies, knowing their path will be decorated with broken glass, knowing that no matter how much love we rub into their skin, society will try and suck their vibrance and greet them with violence that only a mother's love can fix. We are both healers and dreamers, traveling to realms behind our eyelids. We are those women who wash our hearts in God's ocean and keep rowing. What my tribe has endured. Many nations would have been unable to survive, but we are alive and still we rise with the most high in our eyes and fire on our tongue. Our black is so beautiful it could blind you. Watch the story unfold of those who were brought and sold. Let our glory be told. Black gold. So I usually perform that poem last because I can't breathe afterwards and I just walk off the stage and hide backstage for a little bit. But I was trying to think about my set and I was like, okay, what happens if I put it earlier? The next poem, I was like, oh, what should the next one be? I feel like I want to do this poem about black fathers. Because, you know, one of the things about Gil Scott-Heron, and some of you may have had a similar experience, when I first got into him, I guess his music was probably already 20, 30 years old, maybe even older. And I remember seeing, like, you know, his image was on the front cover and he was young and healthy and beautiful, you know, mashallah. Then I saw him in real time, like how he looked at the time. And I remember like seeing this is someone who had very clearly been battling with darkness, you know, he could see. And I think sometimes in our I'm from a Jamaican background, so sometimes in our communities, we speak about the issues of our men. You know, the men aren't around, or the brothers do this, or he didn't look after his kids, or whatever issues we have. And it's very rare that I hear poems that elevate our men and speak life into our men and honor them. So this poem is really about that. And I kind of also am dedicating it to Gil Scott-Heron as a father figure. It's part of my life. He was a male figure that I used to listen to. So this is called Black Fathers. Bismillah. You guys good? We love to talk about the black men who leave, the fathers who departed, leaving their seeds broken-hearted before they could even comprehend what a heart is. I said, we love to talk about the black men who leave, the fathers who departed, leaving their seeds broken-hearted before they could even comprehend what a heart is. We speak legends of the women who had to fill the darkness left by invisible black fathers. We all know these stories. But what of the fathers who stayed? Why don't we speak about them when we catch up with our girlfriends? We can speak for eternity about the weak men and the waste men, but why don't we ever tell tales of the real men? Black fathers tall as oak trees, brown men made of mahogany, who taught their sons to be upright and dignified, to open doors and help strangers, offer a helping hand to new mothers struggling with bulky buggies on the bus. What of the fathers who taught their daughters how not to be enticed by the sweet words of slick men? You know those men who could charm the moon out of the sky and the mermaids out of the sea. These fathers instilled in their daughters the importance of self-respect. Wait for the real men to manifest, they said, with no need for words. Let's talk of the men who faced their responsibilities, led their families unwaveringly, even when they did not know the way, even when they were afraid, unsure how they would put food on plates. They did not run the other way, but stood firm like the mountains that surround Jerusalem. The fathers who would wake before the sunrise whilst babes lay swaddled under warm duvets. They wanted to make sure their lives would stay this way. The fathers who would carry pictures of brown babies in their wallets. One glance at their pure faces kept them motivated if they ever felt like giving up. The fathers who taught us how to tie our shoelace, how to do long division without a calculator, how to play Ludo and dominoes, those hands-on fathers, those ain't afraid of the kitchen, know how to stew down chicken fathers, those cornmeal porridge on Saturday morning fathers, those toolbox ready can fix just about anything fathers, those bonding in the barbershop fathers, those Sunday afternoon in the garden fathers, tending to runner beans and daffodils and whatever else they have planted in God's rich and fertile earth that has started to sprout life. The black fathers who fought every stereotype, taught their kids how to ride a bike, how to navigate through life, wiped our eyes when tears were the only language we could speak. Our fathers are not always affectionate, not the type to say I love you regularly or at all in all honesty, but they display love in their own way, like that time you came home late and he left a chicken patty for you in the oven, or a £20 note on the kitchen table, picked you up late from your first house party, or the time he woke early to drop you to the airport when you least expected, even prepared you breakfast. It's the simple things that aren't so simple these days. Those everyday heroes, those quiet fathers, humble and hardworking. Life hasn't been easy, but they are not complaining black fathers whose life began in distant lands where the sun kept them company, where their skin glistened and they were not foreign, their accent was not different. Fathers who endured the cruelty of this green and fair country so we could have a better life. The sweetest sacrifice. There are no medals for your type. There are no films made about your kind, but your presence at the dinner table is like a slice of heaven. You are more than a legend. You are real, true, and living black fathers. Thank you. That's a big up the black man, them. All of our men, but you know, I think I've got one more. Do I have time to do one more before the one with the orchestra? Is that okay? Yeah? Okay. So I bigged up the black men. Now I'm going to big up the women. Because, you know, divine balance and all that kind of stuff. This is called Black Girl Twirl. I was in a play about Malcolm X in Belgium some years ago, and the director was saying, you know, when you look at the story of Malcolm X, you can't really tell his story without the women in his life. And so he was like, you know, Sukina, your job is to write a poem about women kind of spiritually above men. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So it's called Black Girl Twirl. Bismillah. The most dangerous words to have ever been uttered to women who grace the face of this earth is that your existence is a curse. Your presence drenched with the stench of insignificance. Such fatal words. It's even worse if the sun has a thing for the skin that you're in. Black, brown, gold, and glistening becomes a prison you are living in. Your worth lessens as you increase in melanin. Exoticized and denigrated, characteristics exaggerated, culture appropriated, you are paraded like a savage until your blackness becomes high fashion. Vogue magazine, Kim Kardashian, next season exploitation of Africans on the runway until they find another culture to play with. My culture ain't nothing to play with. It's even worse. If you're a woman who frequents the mosque or church, temple or nature reserve in search of God, in search of the sacred, backwards and unintelligent is the brush you are painted with, in contrast to the construct of white male atheist. A black female who has tasted the greatness of God is seen as the bottom tip of an inverted pyramid. One step lower and she ceases to exist, but we resist. We resist. You thought you pushed us down. We planted our seeds in the ground and flipped it, came back with black girl magic, black orchids, black roses, black tulips, black daisies. I raised me from the pits of your dark dream where you enslaved me. Memories from ancient mothers and melodies from the unseen came to remind me not just to seek divinity, but be divinity. Wear the galaxy like a gown to guard your modesty and dance like the universe in ecstasy and twirl. Twirl for the black girls taught to hate their kinky curls. Twirl for the indigenous women ripped from the earth, we twirl. For those who stand on street corners to survive, we twirl. For those who sacrifice their own to bring forth new life, we are the black of the universe. Before the creation of light, we are black like the kiswa that covers the Kaaba. Stitched with scriptures in gold, like the calligraphy etched on my soul. Our souls are more elegant than 1,000 butterflies in flight. Newly emerged from the blacks of their cocoons, we are women in tune with the new moon, full moon, orange moon, blood moon. Our time will come soon. You just have to remember your tune. You just have to remember you. There is no life here without you. No one enters this earthly realm without living in a lagoon in your womb. This womb, round like the sun at high noon. The angels blue. My Lord knew the best place to house a new soul was inside of you. Prophets and paupers baptized in these sacred waters. Between heaven and earth, we are a portal. Eternity embedded in a mortal. We are beautiful and awful. Extraordinary cloaked in normal. The revolution will start when we activate the heart. The revolution will start when we activate the heart. The revolution will start when we The revolution will start when we Thank you. That is another one of the poems I usually do at the end of the set, and then I go off stage because I can't breathe. So, but we're still here. Thank you. Pray for Africa and all of her children scattered across the globe like the lost tribe. Pray for the African Americans slaughtered on street corners by devils in blue suits. Pray for Brazil. Pray for Congo. Pray for Darfur. Pray for Ethiopia. Pray for Eritrea. Pray for Grenfell. Pray for Haiti. Pray for Jamaica. Pray for Mali. Pray for Mozambique, pray for Nigeria, pray for Palestine, pray for Senegal, pray for Somalia, pray for Sudan, pray for the rainforests, pray for the oceans, pray for Mother Earth who cares for us all so tenderly by God's command. Pray for the Native Americans, pray for the Aborigines, pray for the indigenous tribes who know the language of the stars and hear the lament of the trees. Pray for the caretakers of the earth. Pray for the children of Adam, children of Eve. Pray for peace. Pray for humanity and our heedlessness and our lack of humanness. Pray for the enemy, that they be guided. Pray for the victims on both sides. Pray for those who sleep on streets and in subways in Berlin and Bristol and Brussels and Manchester and New York. Pray for your community. Pray for your neighborhood and those suffering next door. Pray for the poor in money and faith. Pray for those who have no strength to raise their hands to pray, to turn their face, to face the heavens, to face east, to speak to God. Pray for those for whom the world has made weary, for whom existence feels like a dull ache in the pits of their stomachs that they just can't shake. Pray for the lost ones who wish to be found ones. Pray for the hungry and the thirsty and the homeless and the shoeless. Pray for the addicts who can't kick the habit. Pray for those you love. Pray for those you hate. Those who make your heart twist with rage and fill with flames that no water can quell. Pray for compassion and mercy and steadfastness and patience. Pray for the courage to rest when necessary and stand for justice and speak truth to power and fight when necessary with your limbs and your tongue and your teeth and your heart and your whole soul. Pray with your limbs and your tongue and your teeth and your heart and your whole soul. Just pray, beloved. Just pray. Pray for yourselves. Pray for your life in this world and your life in the world to come. After the universe has been folded up and this world is a distant memory, pray for your mothers and your fathers and your children, those you housed in your womb and those you didn't. Pray that our tomorrows be better than today and that God's peace descends rapidly to cover us all. Pray that our tomorrows be better than today and that God's peace descends rapidly to cover us all. Just pray. Just pray. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you to Shirley, to the Manchester Literature Festival, Young Identity, everyone. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you. And we've got books over there as well. Thank you.